So we're going to learn how to do a render of the F1 in Schools car. So we're going to try and get the best quality render as possible. But there's a few little tips and tricks of things that you can do to get that happening. So first of all, with my car, as you can see, I've got sharp edges. Now, one thing that you need to know is obviously for renders and even for competitions and stuff like that, your car is never going to have a really sharp corner like this. So you need to make it as realistic as possible. So before you actually start rendering, have a look at your car and work out what are the things that you need to do. So, for example, one thing that you could do is obviously put a fillet on all of those sharp edges, and it can be just a really small fillet. So I'm just going to do it to the top edges for now, but obviously for you guys, you probably want to go around and do that for even the ones at the bottom and on the sides and stuff like that as well. So that's one thing that you guys need to do. But yeah, for this tutorial, I'll do a couple more on this side here, but I'll leave the rest for now. Awesome. All right, so one more there to make it symmetrical. Alright, so I've got that. Now the fillet I'm going to do for this, it could be really small. It could even be like half a mil. Alright, but just something, alright, to show that you haven't actually got a really sharp edge, because like I said, you won't have that. You know, once again, it could even be smaller than that. It's really up to you, but you know, for this tutorial, let's maybe just do 0.2 and go okay. Alright, another little thing as well, just a little tip. I think I've explained it in another video, but yeah, your car obviously won't have these sharp corners in here as well because of the 6mm cutter, which leaves a 3mm fillet. So yeah, like I've said to you guys before, you want to be putting 3mm fillets in all of these sections, even around the wing and stuff as well. So yeah, make sure you do all these things before you do your render. Make sure your decals are exactly where they need to be. Make sure they're the exact size that they need to be, and they basically look exactly the same as your real car. Now, what you're going to do is we need to create some sort of environment that this is sitting in. So you could create like a desk or like some sort of, you could even build like a pit display and then put this car on top of it and do your render. But you want to try and make it look as realistic as possible. So what we can do is with our car, so if we go to bodies, and I open that up, obviously we've just got the one body. So if I click on the eye there, alright, it's going to get rid of that. Now, obviously there's other parts to the car as well. So we've got obviously the wheels and the grommets and everything as well. So we could go through and just hide everything for now. Okay, so from this point we have to create some sort of table that our obviously car or the wheels need to be sitting on. So to do this, what we're going to have to do is create an offset, because if we start the table or the floor or whatever you're putting here on this surface here, it's going to go to the bottom of the car but not the wheels. So we want to create an offset, so offset plane on the bottom surface. Okay, and obviously we can choose where we want to go here. So if we made this, maybe to start off with -20 and then go okay, we can create a sketch now on that plane that we created. So not this one, the one at the bottom that we just created. So start a sketch there, and we're going to go to the rectangle tool and just make, so I'm just zooming out, I'm just going to make a massive square or rectangle. Alright, finish the sketch. Okay, and we're just going to extrude that. And we'll extrude it down, so we'll go negative, we'll just do 10, negative 10 millimeters, press OK. Alright, so now that we've got a little platform or a table for it to sit on, we need to now add something to it. So you could add this, you could add make it like a timber sort of tabletop, or You could add like a metal sheet or whatever you want. But for us, we're going to put um, some little blackboard on there. So I'll just show you what that looks like in a second. So if we go to Modify and go down to Appearance, and we'll scroll down, and where the library is, we can search. So I want you to type in surface dash method. Alright, so we can use the blackboard with 10 centimeter increments across it. Okay, so it looks a little bit more high tech, and yeah, quite suitable for your F1 car. So if I grab that and drag it onto here, okay, when I zoom in, you start to see what that looks like. So it'll be pretty cool once everything's on there. All right. So I'm going to hit close on that one, and then what you can do is start bringing back your car body and all the parts that come with it. Awesome. All right. So just need to make sure that the car is actually on the surface. Alright, so it's looking pretty good so far. We'll probably find out later on once we're doing the render. Alright, and once the shadows and stuff appear, you'll be able to work out if the car's floating or not. So you'll be able to change that offset. Alright, so to do that, you'd go here to this plane, you'd right click on it, and you'd go Edit Feature. Alright, and then you'd be able to set that to be a bit higher or a bit lower depending on where you need it to be. Okay, so just press OK for now, but that's how you do that. Alright, so to do the actual render, we're going to have to go across here, so where it says Design, we're going to go down to Render. Alright, so a few things will change. Alright, so obviously we can change the angle a touch. Now for competition, you probably want an angle similar to this so you can see the car quite clearly. You can even bring it around a touch further. Alright, something like that would be pretty cool. So yeah, you just want to make sure you get a good view of the whole entire car straight across. It needs to be on the side-ish, just so you can get a good view. So once that's sorted, alright, there's a whole heap of things that you can do. Now, obviously appearance-wise, you can go through and change things if you needed to. But in the scene setting, if I click on that, you can adjust the brightness, you can change the background. So if there was no table, there's going to be just a solid background there. So I'll zoom out. As you can see, it's all grey. All right, so you could go through and just change the color. So if you just want to sort of a plain render, you could obviously just change that white or grey, whatever you want. As I scroll down, sorry, zoom in a little bit more as well. All right, we can fudden the ground, add reflections as well if you want. Even with the camera, we can change the exposure and focal point and stuff like that. I recommend that you use depth of field. All right, so then you can blur out certain sections. So it makes the image obviously look a lot more professional and just a bit more appealing as well. So let's go depth of field. All right, just press OK, and you can choose where you want that focus. At the moment, the focus is here. All right, but you can go through and choose where you want that. So I'm just clicking at the moment. So for this purpose here, we might just keep the focus sort of just here in the middle of the car for now. All right, but it depends obviously where you want it. You can test this and trial it and try different things. Now the blur is pretty heavy at the moment, so we could drop that down a fair bit. So we could do it like 0.15 maybe to start off with. Okay. All right, let's just go down. All right, so we'll leave the rest as it is for now. The environment library is something that you want to play around with. So at the moment, it's using sharp highlights. Okay, so you can already see sort of where the lighting is coming from, but obviously you can play around with different settings. So, for example, if you wanted, we'll try soft light, so you can just drag that across, drop it in. Okay. All right, so you can see obviously that's changed a little bit. All right, for us, we can just leave it at, so I'm just going to try and find it. Yeah, generally grid lights is alright. Cool light is not normally too bad as well. We'll just use cool light for now. Awesome. Alright, so that's in there. You generally can change the direction of the light. It might be in here. In position, I believe. So yeah, so if we click on that, we can then grab this. There you go, and we can rotate that around. So play around with it and work out where do you want that lighting to be? Where do you want the reflections to be on your car? All right, so obviously something like this is a bit too overpowering. It's covering up some of your decals. All right, but if you keep moving it, you might find a spot where, you know, sort of looks quite nice on your car. So I'll move it around. Maybe when it's like a little bit further at the front of the car. Yeah, maybe something like that to start off with. Okay, so yeah, that's completely up to you. Once again, you can play around with it a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to go close for now. Okay, so we've got our environment there set up. Okay, there's a setting here for decals if you need to do that, but we've already done it. Yeah, and a few other things as well. So first thing we're going to do is just do an in-canvas render so we can start to get a good idea of what it looks like. Okay, and that will start to render. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with the lighting. As you can tell, the material or the color that I put onto the car is a high gloss. That's why it's so reflective. So if you didn't want that and your car's not going to be that glossy, obviously I would change that. Okay, but you can start to get a good idea of what the car looks like. You know, one major thing here that I'm noticing is obviously how high the car is off the ground. So that was what I mentioned before. So we'll go back and change that in a second. Okay. So yeah, this is how you get to this point here where you can start to get a good idea of what your car looks like in that render. All right. But yeah, in the next video, I'll go through and show you how to fix up some of these things and then how to do your final render.